Penis.
They
Live
heard
penises.
There it is.
Get your live penises right here. Wait,
Wait, better than dead penises.
Well, yeah, probably.
Back scratchers.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to... I don't even know what the fuck's going on anymore. And since Lauren runs this game, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it at him.
That's a terrible choice.
I've made my choice. I will stand with it.
Hello, anyone who may or may not be watching, or those who may be watching from the future. Welcome back to Flight of the Apollyon, an actual play stream of Armor Astur Advent by Briar Sovereign, who you can find on Twitter at WereGazelle. It is a cool game about fantasy mech fights. Last time we left off, some things were happening. We'll get to that in a minute. I am your MC, Lauren Peterson. You can find me on Twitter at DM_LSP. I forget how our Twitch layout is set up, so what I'm going to do is go to my left and say, hey, Fab, tell us about yourself.
Oh, hey, that's me. My name is Liz. You can find me on Twitter at Favtastical. I am playing Seisha Vadu, and I always forget the name of my class because it's not a D&D word. I'm an Arcanist. Who pilots the mech Serenity, who has currently gotten us into a little bit of a pickle. So,
Just a bit of a pickle.
just a little bit of a pickle.
To my right is Kit. I know it's probably not my right on the Twitch layout, but fuck it.
I mean, it's to Fab's right and your left still, but that's fine. I am playing Cyril von Jaeger. He is the crew's artificer, builder of the Serenity, and all around weirdo who creates absolutely weird prototypes. And there goes
Oh no, the screens.
Oh, no.
Everyone
Everyone can
is weird.
Kim did warn us she was having some internet issues, and she may be dropping for a few minutes.
Well,
So.
Kim was next on my list. She would be right below me, but we're gonna drop down one extra and go to Drew, which is actually Drew's right ear and my hand at the moment.
Oh, let's see.
You gotta get like right behind your mic. Sorry, Drew's Drew's right ear. There you are. Wait, no, too far.
Oh, there
too
you
far.
are. There you are.
Right there.
No, go back a little. Go back a little. That's
We're
your
good.
left eyeball. There we go.
There we go. I think this is good. This is not highly uncomfortable to sit at all. I'm Drew Tillman, and you can find me on most things as Cyber_Sasquatch, which is probably how you found me here. I'm going to sit up like a normal person because that was hurting my back. I'm going to be playing Captain Alexander Dumorn, who has a weird, creepy relationship with a giant, creepy crab monster ship that I live inside of and talk to.
Just normal things.
Just normal, perfectly normal. We live in a world of fascists and mechs things.
While we wait for Kim to return and for our faces to no longer be some sort of Hellraiser puzzle box, my voice is still intact. So basically, to give you a recap, as we've been gone for a long fucking time, the crew of the Apollyon, well, at least a portion of the crew of the Apollyon, were dropped off to assault a sort of stockpile of magical resources that is held by the college, whose name is basically the Hall of Meisters. The Hall of Meisters, they're in charge of the College of Ascension. So they were dropped off to sort of assault this with the help of the Bellboys. They would be taking out this sort of stockpile, and to cause a distraction, two other things happened. The first, Cyril infiltrated the Arcanate's hangar and began to sabotage their mechs, while Alexander Dumorn launched a separate assault in the docks against, what was that called?
I would look it up, but I don't remember where our.
I've got it here. It's in Port Callister. You were assaulting the depot or Howell's Fort, which is like its actual name is Howell's Fort. Everyone locally there calls it the depot. Port Callister is like a port on the lower side of this giant flying continent city state thing we are on. They're basically like trade goods can come and go because we are not the only flying nation out here. There are others. But trade goods come in. People go out and sky fish or gather minerals and whatnot and bring them back. But basically, Port Callister is a military base there. So the Apollyon assaulted Port Callister, or assaulted Howell's Fort in Port Callister, and so did a big fight. And the Arcanate launched some mechs to go stop them, and now Cyril has basically infiltrated the place, which is fun. In the meantime, Farina basically went to the bottom of the giant magical stockpile, broke through, with the help of others, broke through the big magical like vault door there. And inside found out that there is just a dragon being kept in a sort of hibernation. Meanwhile, trying to remember the name, Seisha. Seisha was leading the Bellboys and multiple like illusions of herself in an assault against the three talismans, which are these sort of non-demon possessed mechs used by the Arcanate here. And those were the Mournful Dirge, the Thunder Willow, and the Renegade's Rise. And that is where we kind of left off. So we'll see if Kim pops back in anytime.
Oh, yes.
soon.
I'm here now. Hi.
Oh, Kim's here now. Hi.
Hey.
Are our faces fixed? Are they no longer some sort of horrifying
they're
cube
fixed.
amalgam?
Welcome to Throttled Internet, everybody. Yay. Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
We'll backtrack. And Kim, why don't you tell us about you and where people can find you?
Yeah, so I'm Kim. You can find me on Twitter at Violently Ginger. I'm also on the Corpses and Interiors podcast, where we played GURPS in season 1, and I play Artemis Pruitt. In season 2, I'm currently running Urban Shadows, so that's a fun time. I play Farina Talbot in this lovely game of Armor Austere. She is the witch, so she does fun magical things, and she pilots the Adrenos. That's slowly killing her, so that's fun. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. Her
totally
fire
fine.
god is, not asking her to do crazy magic things, and it's fine. It's totally fine.
No, absolutely not. Sorry if I'm constantly looking over in this direction. That is where I have the screen. It is weird. But why don't we pick up where? Well, it's odd to say why don't we pick up where we left off because nobody knows the fuck we actually left the action. So I'm gonna pick up on the most prescient. That's not the right word. Pertinent thing, the most salient point. Actually, there's a lot. Who wants to go first? I'm just going to toss that out there because I think we can open up on any scene here. Farina and the dragon, Cyril in the Arcanate, Dumorn battling at the port, or Seisha fighting these talisman units. I think any 3 of those would be, or any 4 of those things. 5 of those things? There's 5 of you. No, there's 4 of you. I'm hi. It's been a long week. Any 4 of
You could have
those
just
things
stopped
would
at
be
hi.
fine.
No, I'm kidding.
If only.
Not today.
Okay, I'll hop in.
All right.
Yeah.
So Seisha is the only Austere on our side, I believe.
Yes.
That's in battle. Yeah.
That's in battle.
Where is the Adranos?
I think we said that the Adranos was on the Apollyon, but ready, like standing by, because one of my boons at the moment is shielding or like masking, where I could easily disguise. So I could easily call the Adranos to me in like a masked form, like a hidden form, but like that could slip through battle since there's a lot of smoke and fire now up in the sky. But right now the Adronos is just chilling out on the Apollyon, so not currently
Sounds
in battle.
good.
So right now, Seisha is sort of in the forest with I want to call them the bellboys. Are they the bellboys?
Yes, the bellboys.
Okay.
I thought you had you not breached the tree line and like done your illusions and caused everyone to panic?
So
you sent the illusions
created
out.
fire.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you did
But
create
it
a
was not
giant
very
fire.
realistic fire. And it sent all the students rushing towards us. Like the students who are at this lab, this, I guess, like campus, headed towards the forest to help the Asteers.
Mm-hmm.
And Seisha's feeling very guilty about this because she is a former student herself.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, these are people she might know, and she never wants to harm innocent people. So her goal is to try to get through this without sort of like, sure, fuck up the Asteers, but she doesn't want these students involved. So the Serenity is going to take out its force repeater. It's and what she wants to do is sort of like, you know, maybe like 20-30 feet in front of the students, shoot a line across the dirt to cause like spray to sort of halt their movement and force them to retreat a little bit.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Let's see which move you are triggering. I said, people, it's been a hot minute. We're kind of having to shake the cobwebs off right now and figure things out.
I don't think I never added Asteer moves onto the.
I don't. Is this an Asteer move? Is even
So
the
it's
question.
I mean, it's using her weapon. So would that be like, no, that's exchange blows?
Right. I think what you're doing is weathering the storm. When you attempt to ignore the witty barbs of ambitious politicians, try and walk across a thin, wet beam as thunder booms overhead, or otherwise do something under significant pressure, you're attempting to weather the storm. Maybe that's not it. I feel like this is them coming out to sort of try and put out the illusionary fire you have created. And you are trying to get them to back off. I guess you know what it is it just fucking happens. Like, Asteer-sized gunfire erupts out of the flaming forest and just causes boom, 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 boom. Dirt shoots up everywhere in front of them, and the students are like, oh shit. And there is like a halting moment where they all kind of like stop, and then that female student we saw before, who was kind of like leading everybody to get like to like hook up the equipment they were using, is just like I think she's just like Class A2, Class A3, Formation 36, and they all like shoulder to shoulder stand and then like plant their feet in unison and go like and get like cool wards up in front of them that like glow purple. What do you do?
I mean, how far are the three other Asteers?
So the students are about 50 feet from the tree line. The other Asteers are, I think, at this point, like looking around, like they were kind of in the middle of the whole area. I think they're like, oh shit, what do we do? And then like now, after having seen the gunfire, like the main one, the Renegade's Rise. Wait, no, sorry, not the Renegade's Rise. It is the Mournful Dirge, the one with the Shield of Dawn and the big like thunder lance thing. She like raises the shield and points the lance, and it just like you hear her voice boom out over a sort of like magical PA system from her talisman unit, and she says, enemy combatants hiding in the forest. Hold the line, students. We will engage. And then like begins sort of like thundering in that direction as like we didn't fight them prior, right?
No.
Okay. Because I know Kim, you said you think the big spell cannon was destroyed.
I think that's the one that blew up.
How did it blow up?
I thought that was what. Isn't that what Cyril messed with?
Oh no, sorry. Yes, Cyril did do that to a mech not in this fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Separate fight.
Yeah.
It was the same type of weapon. So yes.
Are they all on like legs? Are any of them flying?
Yeah, they're on like standard talisman units, so they haven't been mutated by being possessed by demons. So they all kind of look the same, which is like they have very broad shoulders, but they slope downward into really long limbs. And then like they're very much like upside down triangle shaped. And their heads are like a knight's like a fully armored like knight helm, but it's on a really long neck. And the cockpit is somewhere in the middle. And then they have like shorter legs that have like the knee and then the back and then the other knee, like like the animal style leg,
like a little at-esque.
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
So is it safe to presume they would not be great at navigating difficult terrain?
I think that depends entirely upon like what you mean by difficult terrain. I don't think these things have a problem with like, they could probably walk through mud and shit, but like.
So, Stacia's number one goal is to make sure everybody gets in and out safely, including the bellboys. So her thought is we're in a forest, knock down some fucking trees to sort of force the Astiers to split, or at least make it difficult for them to come directly to where they are.
So are you trying to like lead them into the trees and make that like a difficult area, or are you trying to keep them away from the tree line and convince them that there is more forces that are like retreating and firing back on them?
I think she's trying to lead them into the trees to get them to split up.
Okay, cool. So do you have a move that is going to be relevant for this? Prepare. You have a ritual?
I do. I have my custom move, shield ward. I don't know if it really works in this case. It gives me advantage when I help or hinder to protect others. But I think it would just be more using her weapon to create obstacles.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate here.
Okay.
Are you just like shooting trees like in the base, like ripping them down behind you?
Pretty much.
And then again, there's like fire. There's the bellboys. Are the bellboys? Do you communicate and be like, hey, are we in on this plan? And they like help you create this distraction? Because I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and
this is like the shit they do.
So probably whoever is in charge of the bellboys has Zuli, her familiar, with them. And while he can't talk, he might be able to like give a tug to help sort of steer them in whatever direction Stacia is clearing for them.
Sounds good.
So there's a tiny little raccoon perched on someone's shoulder, or like on their head, Ratatouille style, like, go this way, go this way.
It's that same. that same bellboy we saw prior, whose name I don't know that I have written down. Actually, now that I think about it, this is all of my notes from fucking Cinder King. So I know they had a really good name, and they were Crispin Freeman is who I face cast them as, like a really tall, lanky one. Anyway, we get that, like them being like, okay, plans change. They've got like their little snub-nosed machine gun flintlock rifles or whatever the hell it is. No, they're definitely like Final Fantasy, 14 style guns. So you are. This now feels like Weather the Storm.
Okay. So what stat do I use for that?
So it could be one of three things. Defy, to dodge, tough it out, or strong arm your way through. No, to make it through with quick thinking or the ace up your sleeve. Or sense, to notice quiet cues, signs of danger, or bad vibes before it's too late. So like what I think the stakes are here is like, if this goes bad, you're not able to like put enough ground between you and them, and they may not get separated, or may just catch you. But I feel like this is either no, with you being like quick thinking and like setting up this trap, or defy, to just like, again, tough it out, strong arm your way through. Sounds like you're just being quick about it, like shoot a tree, knock it down, shoot a tree, knock it down.
So I think
and try and evade them.
She'd be using her knowledge of, I mean, she was training to be in the same position they are, so she would know some of the standard tactics that they were taught.
Oh, sure, that's cool as hell. Yeah, you know exactly what you need to do to like force a situation where they would split up.
Yeah, like textbook, if this happens, this is what you should do. So she's going to use that to her advantage.
That feels like no to me.
Okay. So remind me how I play this game. I roll some dice.
It is 2d6 plus the relevant stat. It's, PBTA, just like masks. So
Okay,
2d6 plus relevant stat. In this case, no, KNOW for the listeners.
So I have a 2. So am I rolling 4 dice?
It's 2d6 plus 2.
Okay. Oh, plus 2. Okay.
Yep.
Shit. Mwah. These are the dices that roll. These are the dices. These are the dice that rolled 6s when I rolled them before we started. Good. That's 12.
12. Wow, yeah, that's a total success. 10 plus, you managed to make it to safety. So not only have you made it to safety, you've managed to sort of get them separated here. Okay, so they are separated completely. It's not just like, I think what is like under normal circumstances, they would be like, okay, stick together and send off like one scout, so that way you don't get picked off completely. But in this case, they're like, wait a minute, what's here? And they start seeing like these other trees fall that the bellboys are causing to fall. And they see your trees, and then they see like the fires, and then I think they realize like, oh, the fires aren't real now that they're in here. And so they I think the one in command, who is Arcanate Neophyte Robbins, she is like, you kind of hear her voice ring out from the mournful dirge, and she says, Thunder Willow, renegades rise, spread out and find the interlopers. And there's a voice from the Thunder Willow that's like, that's not standard. She's like, shut up and do it. I am your commanding officer. And they kind of like split up and begin to like move through this place, slowly picking their way through the trees that are like knocked down, and like trying to move their way around and having a difficulty with it. And you're like, are you hidden somewhere or just like off in the distance? Because we've talked about these mechs as being like 15 to 20 feet tall, I think. So like this is a big forest. I think like moving between the trees quietly is probably pretty difficult for these mechs. So what do you do?
I think the idea would be luring them further into the forest, away from the vault, and where Farina is, potentially causing her own mess.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea would be to like dart out and retreat.
Okay, so you're gonna start making hit and run attacks. Because
Right.
you've done that first thing. You've lured them into the forest.
Yes. It's the dollar bill on the string that she's
Right.
teasing them along with.
So which one are you near?
I mean, her goal would be to stick near the mournful dirge.
Okay. So you're going to be near the mournful dirge. So we get this I think we get this cool shot of the mournful dirge, just like stomping on like a bunch of trees that have fallen over, and there's like a hiss as like the knee joint whirs up and crushes those trees, and then it takes another step. Her lance is like getting caught up in the like tree line, and she like smashes 3 trees down with her shield, and is just like, fuck, I should not be in here, but she is. And then we get like we snap to Seisha in the Serenity. And what do you do, Seisha? As like we get from your perspective, like she has not noticed you. You definitely have the drop on her.
Seisha is she is crouched with like her hands perfectly poised, like midway through casting a spell, waiting for the moment where the mournful dirge steps into the right spot where she can complete the spell and trap the mournful dirge somehow. Whether they knew where they were headed, so I imagine that they planned out ahead of time. There's some sort of ravine, something like that they know that if she angers the mournful dirge enough and causes them to sort of focus more on catching their prey than paying attention to their surroundings, if it falls into that ravine, it's not getting back up anytime soon.
Okay, so you are. Sounds like you're trying to weave magic.
Yeah, so I think so one of my moves is tactical illusion.
Okay.
It says when you distract your foes, but I think she'd be using it in this case to create like a false ground cover. So
okay, cool.
As the mournful dirge moves forward, it doesn't realize it's stepping into a ravine. So there's ground cover and maybe some sort of movement within that would draw her attention.
Yeah. Cool. When you distract your foes with magic, roll channel. So roll channel.
Oh boy. Uh, 9.
9. Okay. So on a 7 to 9, you choose 1, but your illusions will also distract an unintended audience. So the illusions will last until you stop sustaining them. Your illusions affect anyone you intended to perceive them rather than a single person. Or you can create illusions that affect all senses rather than just sight.
In this case, I'm going to go for you can create illusions that affect all senses rather than just sight. So, there's the sound of like snapping twigs, rustling leaves. So that it's super convincing.
I think with that touch too, like there's that immediate sense of like the talisman puts its like foot down and it feels like solid ground for a half second before it's just not anymore. But your illusions also distract an unintended audience. And I'm wondering if the way this just works is like okay, she falls into that ravine. And as she does so, like the magic loudspeaker PA, you hear her scream, and her mech like twists itself over, and she holds out her lance on her way down, and her talisman pulls the trigger, and it shoots a bolt of lightning straight up into the air before there is the like and everyone just sees this like bolt of lightning straight up and hears the crash. And then you hear the sound of one of the other talismans moving your way rapidly. And yeah, that's what's coming at you. And we'll switch gears for a moment, because let's hold up. I believe B plot stuff is like, do Drew and Kit be like, hey, I want to do B plot now, or do I throw the B plot to you?
I think we
don't
use our
remember.
hold to do B plot, and we, if I remember right,
I don't remember.
let me look. I think we get hold because we're part of B plot, and I think we spend that hold to do things.
B plot. Let's reread B plot because it's been a hot minute. When you head out for some solitary revenge, leave to take part in negotiations, or otherwise take part in a secondary narrative thread to the players involved in the sortie, you are in the B plot. Name 1 or 2 director characters that accompany you and hold 3. During the sortie, you may spend it 1 for 1 to do the following. Give another player confidence on their next move, but complicate things for yourself. Deny an actor from appearing during the sortie. They are busy, possibly with the same thing as you. Spend some time and frame a downtime scene, or cut away from the sortie during a moment where time is precious, giving everyone room to think. So that is an option you can do, but I can also just throw the camera to you, it seems.
I would like to spend a hold.
So do we remember if anyone has spent any hold yet on your
I think
side?
I spent hold because I have 2 according to my very shitty notes. I've got 2 and Kit has 3 left.
Okay, do you remember what you spent it on by chance?
I think I cut away to attack the depot. Like I cut to that to buy time for.
So I think you gave that sounds like you gave someone confidence on a move.
That might have been what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I spent it in that moment though.
Because I don't think anyone has used the deny an actor from appearing.
I was about to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So yes, Kit, please. Cyril, please tell us who you were denying from appearing during the sortie.
One of the people that's. Oh wait.
And it is a specific actor. You have to like call them by name. If you don't remember names, it's been a hot minute. I can help.
We have factions. That's fine. We've got a sheet for this.
Yeah, that's why we have the faction sheets.
We are attacking the Hall of Meisters.
Yes, you are attacking the Hall of Meisters. They only have 1 personnel, which is Professor Zendari of the College of the Blue Eye. Yeah, that's like their only main actor. They do have other actors.
Yeah.
And Professor Zendari is the woman who was doing like research, if I'm not mistaken. Again, it's been a hot fucking minute. She was the woman who was doing all the research on the like prosthetics to basically attempt to build an Alea Vignana system.
Yeah. I don't think she'll show up in this, so I'm not going to use her.
Let's see. Other people that like might be a good idea to take off the table, but also know that what you're essentially doing is putting them in the same room as you. There was other like main people who've kind of shown up were Lucille Montress, the Archon of Dawn, and her Astir, the Heart of Lobolus. there was the Archon, the head of the Arcanate, High Archon Maldivis of the White Sun, who's the Astir is the Fang of Barbatos.
He blew up.
He did not blow up. You blew up somebody else.
Oh, damn it.
He's like he is you. If you want to kill him, you have to do a mission for that.
Yeah.
Like your mission goal has to be I kill this guy. I mean, unless you're like, yeah, I spend my hold because he's busy here with me, and that I'm gonna get into a fight with him. You can do that. You can force him to be here and try and kill him. 100%. I don't know how that's gonna go for you, but it's a possibility. And then there are no like key personnel that we have seen from the Order of Rectification of Injustice, which are the what if Final Fantasy Red mages were cops.
Yeah. I think what's her nose that we saw in the first. You literally just said her name.
That would be Lucielle Montress, the Archon of the Dawn, and she is the pilot of the Heart of Labalus, which
that lady.
I'm trying to remember how I described the Heart of Labalus.
It was scary looking.
Doesn't matter because
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw doesn't matter. Bonesaw.
But I mean, this winged Astir wields a wicked and deadly long blade, batteries of spell rockets, and terrifying visages. It was very much Gurren Lagann style, where it's like face was in the middle, but it had big horns.
It got royally trashed.
And it got royally fucking
Farina
trashed.
fucked her up. Farina fucked her up.
It has a tier 4 force weapon with Bane.
Yes, it had a force blade, a tier 4 force blade, and it had a tier 3 magic missile array. And you spend that point, and I think this is when Cyril, are you skulking through the halls? Because I think I know how you come upon her.
I am.
You like disguise yourself as one of the engineers, I believe.
As an old engineer man.
Yeah. And so
Wait,
I think
hold on. An old engineer man with his Bane mask?
I'm an old man.
Yeah, he's like, I got a prosthetic. I gotta breathe this now. I'm old. My lungs don't work. So it says deny an actor from appearing during the scene. They're busy, possibly with the same thing as you. And in this case, they are busy with the same thing as you, which is the fact that, guess what they are currently trying to fix? They're fucking Astir. Which is like, you're skulking around, and I think there is like just the sound of like angry clanging and banging, and you see like, I have been imagining this whole thing as an anime, and so I'm trying to get into like anime-y tropes, and there is like the like bang, clang, screaming profanities coming from like a room, and like you peek your face around the little corner, and you can see there is Lucielle Montress, who I believe I described as being very much like, again, because I keep using IBO for a lot of references in this, Carta Issue. Yeah. She has like well done makeup, silver blue hair that's kind of long but like teased at the sides because she has like bangs that kind of go out, and her like pristine sort of white like Arcanate robes, which are like white, and then she has like they're white and like gold, and then the outer like coat and stuff is blue and silver, and like that's off, and her sleeves are rolled up, and her outfit is covered in like an assortment of blood and oil and all sorts of shit, and she is like, I think one of the weird like little insights you get here, Cyril. Dice Mandel, by the way, was the name of that. No, Dice Mandel was the leader of the Bell Boys. I just found my notes on that. That's the one who is Dave Bautista with tiny glasses. So Lucielle is like, the bit of insight you get here is like the Arcanate's talismans, which become like full austerities at that point, are not just machine. And this is, I kind of think the thing like you get is like, to most people, like, oh yeah, they bind a demon into him and it changes it. But what you're witnessing here, you're getting to see a thing most people don't see, is that the austerities become a fusion of machine and demon flesh.
Gross.
Because like there is like black ichor leaking out of this thing, and like you're close enough to it, you can see it, you can smell it. On the battlefield, I don't know that Farina recognized, like, that wasn't just oil. Like, that is weird demon blood. And she is like shouting and screaming at all these people who, you know, are dressed just like you, the monk saints who take care of their holy austerities and all that shit, or holy talismans. And like, what do? You can just move on, and she's stuck here fixing this thing. But if you want to get a closer look, now would be the time. But you do, again, risk exposing yourself. I will remind you that you have 3 hooks. Your hooks are find my father's killer. I make the best austerities, and I will prove that in battle, and the world is dead.
I am going to, if there's any information, I'm just going to take note of what I saw, and I'm going to keep moving, because this base definitely has some form of information.
Cool. Then I would like you to make, for me, sorry, I gotta find my moves here. I don't know them all by name. It's not, is it just, read the room. You said you wanted to look and take note of what you saw.
Yeah.
So roll read the room, which is plus sense.
Plus sense. What's my sense? That is 8. Yes. Yep. 8. Hold 1.
Hold 1. So you can ask the questions: who has the upper hand here? What is being overlooked or obscured here? Where/why do my hooks pull me here? How does X really feel? What is X's approach? Which approach in this context is like arcane, divine, curse, that whole elemental, that whole thing. How does X really feel? I already said that one. How is X at risk or in peril? And where can I find X?
Ooh, well, where do my hooks pull me here?
I think there are 2 locations. Where do my hooks pull me here? There's 2 locations your hooks pull you here. The first is, you believe, as far as I remember, your father was killed by the Arcanate for not doing what they wanted, right? Is that
correct? Yeah.
Okay? If anyone is going to have record of that, it's probably going to be in the office of High Archon Maldivus. Also, I make the best austerities and will prove that in battle. If you get a look at one of their demonically possessed ones up close, you might be able to reverse engineer some way to take it down more efficiently. So your hooks are pulling you in 2 directions here.
Revenge or pride?
Both very dangerous opportunities.
Ooh, what do I care more about? Revenge or pride?
That's isn't that the grand question we all ask ourselves?
I'm throwing this one to my party because I can't decide. They're both pretty.
Revenge.
Pride cometh before the fall.
Revenge sounds more fun.
Revenge. Okay. He's gonna look for the office.
Okay. So I think you start wandering these halls looking for that office. You know it's got to be here somewhere. And for the most part, like, you are disguised. I believe you did roll to do that.
Yeah.
So like most people ignore you and they're just like, oh, look, a priest. They're gonna go incant over some oil and then it'll be holy oil. Good for you, priest. That like the energy of this place is like what if the West Wing took place in the Jedi Temple? It's straight up just like a bunch of people who are basically mech piloting Jedi, like walking and talking and yelling at each other and like, I have this scroll that says blah blah blah. Like, you can't do that. The merchants in the fish district are all pissed about the 2% scale tax, and there's like, I don't care. We need that scale. It's just like the most asinine, like, why are these the people enforcing this shit? Oh, because that's the fucking archon of weights and scales, and like that's their job. And like, you are just so overlooked in this space. Let me see if there is an appropriate move.
I feel like there is.
I think, did you have a move that you think you're trying to trigger here? Because if not, I have one. To me, this feels like Weather the Storm.
Yeah.
Doing something without drawing enough attention. Like, you don't know exactly where you're allowed to go. This is like in a stealth game where you have like an outfit, like in a Hitman, where you walk into a room and you're like, and someone's like, hey, you're not supposed to be here. And you're like, oh shit, I thought I had clearance. Goodbye. And you turn around and walk away, acting like nothing happened. So yeah, this feels appropriate to me. I feel like is this dodge? How are you trying to do that? How are you trying to like poke and prod and figure out where you can go and where you can't?
I'm going to be watching where everybody else is, and if I see more like military-esque people than engineering type people, I'm gonna kind of go that way.
Okay. So sense to notice quiet cues, signs of danger, or bad vibes before it's too late.
Vibe check.
Cool. Vibe check.
6 plus 4 plus 1, so that is 11.
11. You make it to safety. So you kind of follow these like packs of people. Because like you just fall in with one and then, you know, turn a corner to fall in with another. You kind of eventually get a vague sense of this place is sort of maddening labyrinth of just white and gold halls. And eventually you do manage to locate the office of the High Archon. The trouble is, it's not just it's not like, oh, this is his door, you just walked by it in the hallway, right? Like, oh, you find an area that is essentially like, how do I put this? It's not quite like cubicles, it's not quite like desks. That's not the exact vibe. Right. Like, but what if an open concept office was also like had like a bunch of magical experiments going on, And it wasn't like a bunch of cubicle like wall-less cubicles with fucking like cogs, entering shit on spreadsheets. And it was like a bunch of weird shit happening. And then like at the end of that was a big door. And that big door it just had has like a cool symbol above it.
I'm imagining that one scene in the last Harry Potter movie where
Okay,
they're
that's
all...
exactly what I'm going
Yeah.
for, but 100% not the thing I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Because it's more
but yes,
techie
that
than
is
fantasy.
the vibe. It's the other thing is like the there's a scene in one of the Arkham games where the are like Batman Arkham games where you have to like break into the Gotham City Police Department and like sneak your way through the bullpen. This is where all the cops with desk jobs or doing desk work like are, and it feels a lot like that. But what if this was the desk work of a like mage cop?
Yeah.
But I guess it's even bigger than that because like they're not the cops. They're fucking Jedi. So like
the military cops.
Yeah, they're like military cops. So it makes them like quadruple bad. It's like a whole fucking bad vibe. But like that you found the place. Like his office is at the head of that. There is like a door there, and it's like it's like High Archon Maldivus, and there's a symbol above it, and the symbol itself is in this case a like a golden wolf's head, and it has like red teeth.
I am going. I'm gonna jury rig.
Of course you are.
of course I am. A distraction.
Okay. How are you jury rigging a distraction?
I'm going to go to desks that are empty and just take things off people's desks.
Okay.
I don't know what there is. I don't know what I'm going to make.
This is like running through the Mages Guild in an Elder Scrolls game and just like grabbing something the second no one is looking at you.
Yeah.
You're like, what does this do? Who could say?
I'm literally pulling peak Cyril.
When you take random parts or objects and attempt to create something useful out of them, a distraction is useful.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna make, but something. Just pull something out of my mind.
Yeah, so roll plus no.
That is 9 plus 2 is 11. Choose 3.
All right. Choose 3, which is all of them. It fits the purpose you had in mind, so it creates a distraction. It stops working after hours, not minutes, and it doesn't explode when it stops working. Do you have an idea for what this is? Because I do if you don't.
I don't really.
Okay. Start grabbing some shit. Like nobody's paying attention to you, right? And then I think like you mix a beaker, you mix it all up and you put it back on like an alchemy station as you walk through, and it just starts coughing up awful smoke. And someone is like one of the archons starts like coughing, and they're like, what the, and it looks over, they're like, oh my god, like who left that on? And as it at some point someone is like, what is that? It's like they just go off. It's fucking like it's manticore poison. Like, oh shit, someone who was doing an experiment with manticore poison and let it become a gas, and like they just like pull up a thing and is like, evacuate the third floor. We need a hazmat like team, we need magical quarantine up here. And then I think like all of them get up and leave and like come around the corner, and the first thing they see is you. And they're like, engineer, we need a hazmat team equipped with like no, what it is they turn the corner and the first thing they see is you, and you've got your big respirator on, and they're like, oh good, you're already on top of it, get in there and clean that up.
I'm just gonna. Yes.
And so like yeah, you made a giant cloud of poison that will last for hours. It fits the purpose you had in mind. Get everyone distracted and out of here. And well, it's not going to explode when it stops.
I don't care about garbage. Yeah, whatever. It looks like garbage. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, is that the one on here?
Yeah.
That one did not appear for me. The text wrapping didn't show up. It doesn't look like garbage stuck together. Which in this case is someone is just like, fucking Jerry, why did you just do that? Like that's your station. Jerry's like, I don't know. I didn't touch it. And they're just like yelling at him as they evacuate the area, but like you have the respirator, they don't care. Yeah, you go in and do it, peon. It's great. And so you kind of have some time in here, but you know other people are going to show up eventually to like help with the cleanup.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this distraction to get in there, pull some information, and get out and clean up my mess.
That leaves you with 2 holds. This I'm going to give you a couple options here. And then we'll break away from this scene. You manage to get into the office of the High Archon. He is not there right now. Who knows what the fuck he is?
On the battlefield.
You don't have much time. And if you get caught here, like, you know you're not supposed to be in here. The others know you're not supposed to be in here. If you get caught here, it's not going to look good. You'll have to fast talk your way out of it. So you only have a limited amount of time to like go through his shit. I think a quick like survey of the room and a glance at a couple things gives you there are like cases that you like click open, and they have like brass orbs with like, they're brass and glass. They have crystals in them. And you know what these are is basically you can like turn them, and they are like a hollow diary, basically. Like you talk, they're kind of like what if a journal was also a holocron. Again, I keep comparing these people to Jedi, but that's kind of what they fucking are. It's like a holocron, like you use them for journaling, and like it's a bunch of cases with these in it, and they're all labeled by month and year. And there's 2 other things in here, and you're only gonna have time to like investigate and grab one. And so the other 2 things that are in here are, double check. There is a very, very thick, heavy tome that is like locked in a way that's like you can't get that open now. There's no way, like you could eventually, you could pick that lock and get into it, but right now you could not. And you don't know, Cyril does not know what's in it, but does know because you have one of the other factions within your resistance who are like the cool fucking like demon magic hackers who like hack the demons that are in the internet here, which is like a big crystal network. You recognize some of the symbols on the front of it as like symbols you've seen them use from your time with interacting with them. So probably has something to do with demons. And then the third thing in here is probably a cool weapon. It's like a big staff. And it's got like it's like a big staff with like a cool fancy crystal on it, and it's again like ivory and gold and inscribed with runes. But like the top of the staff is a censure. The things like incense in and swing.
Yeah.
It's like one of those. And it's like a cool staff that probably does something neat. And so like those are the three things that immediately stand out to you. And you have probably enough time to get one of them and secret it away for later, before other people show up, and you have to spend until you spend another point of hold or whatever, or shit, to like clean this place up from the distraction you created.
Book. The book.
The book, okay.
Yeah.
You go with the book. I guess the thing I will I'm going to give you a little bit more information about one thing in particular here, because it is relevant to your hook, and that's kind of what led you here. If you believe that Hierarchon Maldivis had something to do with your father's death, and you know what those orbs are, you could find the one from the date of his death and see if there's anything
I'll grab
relevant.
the one if I know what they are.
Know what they are.
Oh,
That's a thing Cyril knows.
Then I will grab the one from roughly the date of his death.
Okay.
And I'll make notes of this weird demon book that he has.
Yeah, he has a weird demon book. Who can say what that is? I mean, I know exactly who can say what that is. The Kabbalists. They would be like, yeah, we know exactly what the fuck this thing is. So telling them about it later might be a worthwhile endeavor. So yeah, you grab the orb. You won't have time to like dig through it right now, but you've got it, and then you have to go out and like help the other people clean up. And then while we're in B plot mode, and because I know the thing we swing back to is the big thing.
I was actually gonna say, let's take a break here.
Oh sure,
for like
let's take a break.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
I could use a bathroom break, so that's good for me.
Oh my god, yes, so much mead.
We'll be right back in like 10-15 minutes, y'all.
Yeah.
Bathroom break.
back. Welcome back to Flight of the Apollyon. As we leave Cyril sort of cleaning up the mess he made, we come in on Captain Dumorn. Captain Dumorn, how's the fight going? How's this is your whole thing? Is these like hit and run tactics? Is it going well this time?
I mean, it's going pretty well based on the fact that Cyril vanished somewhere in there. I don't know what he's doing, but nobody's blown the ship up yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going all right. I think. Oh wait, I forgot. I had a danger from last time.
Ooh, what's your danger?
Dented shell. The Apollyon is taking damage. It is risk. It is a risk.
It's a risk, which means it pretty much goes away after time. Everyone's just got to get up there with a hammer and bang it back out.
Or some chitin.
Yeah. So you've had, at this point, Apollyon and all of your like monks, basically, right, are like waging. You have those cool red magic missiles that are like.
Oh, yes, and I'm aiming at things just to stop, other Asteers from taking off, or not necessarily aiming to kill any people per se. Although that's not a concern. It's more just like cover fire.
It like taking out the fort's guns, shooting down the bay doors so that they collapse and people can't get out.
It's all
that
just
sort
like
of thing. Gotcha.
It's tactical fire.
Right.
And I mean that's what I'm going to continue to do until I get the signal that Farina or that the depot has been robbed, and then it's time to leave.
Okay. This is basically continuing to create a distraction. So what I'm going to have you roll here is this is literally weathering the storm, seeing how long you can keep this up.
Love it.
To create this distraction.
All right. Let me look because I don't remember that move and how it works. Here we go.
When you attempt to ignore the witty barbs of ambitious politicians, try to walk across a thin, wet beam as thunder booms overhead, or otherwise do something under significant pressure, you're attempting to weather the storm. In this case, you were attempting to keep the Apollyon up and running here and cause this distraction while they get the goods and get out.
Defy is what it sounds like.
To dodge, tough it out, or strong arm your way through.
Right.
Sounds right by me.
Well, that's the 9, 10. I have a 1
10.
there.
Hey, cool. You make it to safety. So what does weathering the storm in this case look like? Because you're just holding the line, basically.
I'd say it's probably the initial defensives, like the depot guns and stuff have been taken out, and the ability to launch more Asteer have also been slowed down. So the sky, instead of being a brimming war zone, has calmed down a little bit just from the sheer number of little psychic missiles the Apollyon can put out.
Gotcha. You've taken down probably a decent number of talismans units. I don't think you've managed to kill an Archon yet, simply because that's if we're gonna do that, that's an important thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so you've got some more talismans and Archons kind of swarming around you. But again, the Apollion's the Apollyon. It's a tier 5. They are not. Most Archons are tier 4, and some of the Archons, probably a decent amount of them, mount weapons that could hurt the Apollyon. But you weather the storm. You're fine. Is there anything else you want to do in this scene?
Not in the scene. No, it's just it'd be one of those shots. If this were a movie of it, just cuts over, looks at stuff, and it just rolls right on by. Nothing interesting is happening in this particular case.
God, I think we have one of the cultists monitoring, several of the cultists monitoring, and they're like, Captain Duborn, all systems stable. Ammunition capacitors at 75%. Hull integrity 65. Crack on floor 3. Major dent on floor 3. and it's just kind of like listing off things that are like, okay. Like, and I think, you know, and then they finally finish like, report assessment, systems nominal, sustained conflict. That's what I'm looking for. Like, we can continue doing this.
Possible.
Yeah, like sustained conflict possible for the time being. Estimate about at most 30 more minutes before major damage incurred.
Ooh. Well, in 30 minutes, I'm going to leave. Probably.
Okay. So Farina, we cut to you as like above you can hear like the shouting and yelling, and you hear like a massive thunder crack. And the sky, because like you can look up and see out that vault door that was sort of the top of this place, and there like it all just lights up bright white for a brief second, and you hear that PA scream, and you can hear the sounds of like people shouting and screaming and stuff like that, and that's where I think like you have a communicator crystal, and like a little like again like a Star Wars hologram pops out of it, and it's one of the Apollyon cultists that is like do you have a title, anything in particular they call you?
Yeah, we have call signs. Mine's Salamander.
That's right. I think they refer to you as like agents. So she says like, again, those like hooded robes, kind of dark shrouded faces, the very like Clone Wars, we don't want to have to animate this model. And she's just like Agent Salamander, you have approximately 30 minutes before the Apollyon has to break off its conflict, at which point reinforcements will arrive. 40 minutes till extraction. Good luck. What do? You have this giant, like, sleeping dragon in front of you. And again, the dragon is, like, wounded in various ways we talked about. Right. You can see, like, it's missing teeth. It's missing scales. One of its horns has been cut off. It's missing several claws. They clearly are, like, sedating it with freezing temperatures, which... Do you have a thing that keeps you warm?
Well, so I imagine that because her magic is connected to her life energy, it's like her life energy is like the flame that fuels her. So it's like the heart's fire. And then also, I imagine that like when Incendus, her familiar, that's like the flame that can take many forms, needs to hide, she probably has like a pendant that Incendus can hide in. So in some ways he also keeps her warm, so he's probably like hiding in a pendant around her neck.
Gotcha.
So he's also kind of providing some warmth as well.
So with that, what I will say is, even still, you're freezing.
Yeah, I have a danger that's freezing. It's a risk. Yeah, but yeah,
it's cold. It's cold as shit down here.
Yeah.
I think you start to realize like, oh, if I didn't have all that stuff in place, I would probably be dead already.
Right.
Like if you don't have any protection, you would just freeze to death down here so fast.
So so I can assume the dragon is also a fire creature as well.
Yeah, it is a you know, in D&D terms, a red dragon.
Yeah. Okay.
I think like I love dragon colors. I think that's very fun. So I'm keeping that running. There's a red dragon here. Yes.
Gotcha. And in terms of like things that Farina would know, are dragons like sentient that like can communicate with people, or are they like, do they not communicate with?
Let's find out. I have my own ideas, but I want to see how kind of dragons work in this.
And if not, like if Farina doesn't know this, it's fine regardless because there's a thing I'm going to do anyway.
Sure. Yes, dragons have the tags imperious and cruel.
Okay.
And it's yeah, so like they're intelligent.
Okay.
And they are, again, imperious and cruel is kind of the thing here.
Yeah. I want to weave magic.
Okay.
To lay a hand on, like, to touch the dragon and share with the dragon like memories of warmth and fire, and like communicate with the dragon that like this shared bond of like I am also like a being of fire, and that like I am here to help you. I am not like the authority that has hurt you. And that shared communication of like I'm here to break you out and free you, to try and win it over to my side.
Enemy of my
At least just like not like, and not in a like, oh, like serve me of like just like be freed, like I'm here to help free you and then you can do whatever the fuck you want after, in a sense.
Yeah. Is there like a basic move for like convincing people to do shit?
There isn't, but that's why I'm trying to do like weave magic, because I'm doing that like shared memory of like,
yeah, that's what made sense.
And magic, and then using that to like convince it. So, but if we need to start with the shared memory of fire and then go from there for all the other stuff, we can do that.
Yeah, so like definitely weaving magic. I normally these games have a like, normally PBTA has like a I want you to do the thing.
Right.
And I'm not seeing that here. Like help or hinder seems to be specifically about allies, like other player characters,
right,
or NPCs that
there's not like a talk and convince, and yeah,
I know like the diplomat gets to do that. I don't think this is read the room. This is not Weather the Storm. I'm just making sure that like I'm not overlooking someone here.
Yeah, because I was also looking for that too, just knowing what I want to do, and there's not.
I feel like
a new one.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like you definitely are like one of the things you're doing is yes, like I'm a fire thing, but also like kind of disrupting the magic that's keeping it asleep by giving it that touch of flame. So go for it. Give me that roll. Give me that weave magic.
So that's a 7, and then my channel is a 3, so that's a 10.
10. You managed to channel the power the way you decided without ill effect. I think like all of that, there's like that flash and all of that happens. But again, these big like frost spewers are and like runes are causing this like frigid air, and the dragon's like eyes open up again, like glowing yellow, and it kind of barely lifts itself up. It's big. It's a big fucking dragon. Like it is a tier 5. It's fucking huge. This is like you going up and again like putting your hand on the face of Smaug. Like, holy like, shit, this thing is massive. But it is currently definitely weakened. It is, like I said, it's missing all these body parts that they've just like surgically extracted from it. It fucking sucks. And it is I think, how do dragons talk?
I imagine they're all, like smug. They're always like very regal and like.
So it actually talks. It's not like a psychic connection. I'm just asking you to fill in the blank here.
That's kind of what I imagine, or like maybe a mix of like psychic, but also like speech. I don't know. Maybe because it's weakened, it would be like a psychic link, but if it was stronger, it would be actual speech. I don't know. I'm throwing that out there. If anyone else has opinions on it.
Imagine it's a little bit like the Babelfish, where like the dragon is speaking in whatever language, but like superimposing telepathically
Yeah.
the language.
That's
like,
cool.
The language.
Yeah.
Like you definitely hear like weird hissing roars, but you're like, I know what the fuck you just said.
Yeah, I like that.
Like you
I like
feel
that.
it in your bones.
Yeah.
And the dragon, like, again, kind of like it like picks itself up, it goes to stand, and like one of its legs buckles and it falls down. And I think it says like dragon says like, you are a child of Floris. You respond in any way?
She says, and you are an ancient being of flame, and they should not have kept you here.
I am Maelvraneus the Bright. I should not have been kept here. You are correct. You should not be here either. This place is dangerous, child.
I did not expect to find you here.
For what have you come?
We fight against the people that kept you here.
Then perhaps we are allies.
It seems so. We looked for a weapon, but I would not keep you. I will see to it that we do not keep you. You should be free.
I have no desire to be kept. Break these chains. Metaphorical chains. And I will offer you what aid I can. I am weak. But I have strength yet to fly.
She nods at him, and at this point, is he referring to like the cold blasters that are like still on him, or is there like actual... yeah, okay,
break that shit, fucking wreck it, and he'll be good to go.
So I think she's just gonna, if she doesn't see any obvious mechanism for it, she's just going to try and like blast them with like fire to like melt the...
Sure. Roll to do witch shit again.
Weeb magic again.
Roll for weeb magic.
Roll for witch shit.
I love weed magic.
Okay. So that time I rolled a 6, which with channel would be a 9. But if Flaris wants to use an influence to help me,
because you are rescuing a creature that is kin to them.
Cool. Yeah, so they can offer to help. Yeah, they can offer to help or hinder, succeeding as if they had rolled a 10 plus.
And there's like a catch, right? You got to do something in return. Is that how that works?
Let's see. Additionally, they may spend influence 1 for 1 to do the following. That's just a patron move.
Exert their influence to make sure their bidding is done. If a gravity clock with them representing the tenuous play, your patron may spend their influence like hold in order to do the following: help or hinder you, succeeding if they roll a 10. So yeah, whenever your patron spends influence, advance your gravity clock with them.
So, gravity clock forward 1.
Yep.
And I think the way that looks is, I think as she's like channeling these like fireballs that she's blasting, you see Incendus like come forth from the pit, and like he's also like fueling the fire bursts as well. So like he's like wrapping around her arms, and so you see like little flames breaking off from him and mixing with fire that's being created from her palms, and that's launching out, and they're like smacking into the frost cannons until they're all gone.
Gotcha. Yeah, just like those are destroyed, and the frost down here like subsides a little bit to the point where it's basically like maybe just sub-zero, not like you're gonna die in 10 minutes being exposed to this cold. And the dragon like is able to stand up again, kind of stretches itself and like kind of goes like a it shoots a little bit of a flame out. And the dragon again, Meo Reneus, kind of like looks at you, says, what does he say? It's like, I do not that's not the right word. He says, I am not one to hold debts. But this place must be destroyed. Spare what you wish now, before I burn it all. He'll let you take something from here.
Ooh.
Before he decides to just fucking wreck it.
Fair enough. Let's see then. I guess I will.
What does Armbrister have like? Oh, Armbrister does have like cool loot. Hold on.
Okay, sweet.
Magical objects. Magical weapons. So here's what I will say. You can either you can take a magical object or a magical weapon and something that will grant a faction of your choice +1 or a boon during downtime. Essentially something you can be like, I'm going to give this to that faction and it will help. We don't have to figure out what that is right now. You'll just get that, but you can pick either a magical object or a magical weapon, and I will roll to see what it is for yourself.
Oh, so it's either an object or a weapon, and it'll be given to a faction to give them.
No, you will get a magical object or a weapon for you.
Oh.
And then you will get a nebulous hold to give a faction a bonus during downtime. What do you want?
I think it makes more sense for Farina to take a magical object because she's usually fighting in her austere. So she doesn't usually have need for weapons because they're not austere sized. So she will take an object.
Hell yeah. The object you grab is a small box. It is velvet lined, and inside it is a pair of picture frames.
Okay.
You don't find this out immediately, but like between now and downtime, what you find out is they're picture frames, like about the size of like a monitor. If you had your computer monitor like turned on end, their portrait. I guess their landscape. There's nothing in them. They're just a frame, but they straight up act like portals.
Oh.
You can like if you put like your hand in one, it comes out the other.
Oh.
And they're about I don't know what 12 by 18 probably. Yeah, you get that.
Okay.
The weapon you would have gotten would have been a long-handled axe enchanted to whip up heavy winds whenever it is swung in anger.
Shit. If I was ground fighting, that would have been cool.
That would have been cool. But yeah, you got cool portal things. Those are going to be useful, I'm sure.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. You set one up somewhere, and then yeah. But okay.
Yeah, so you get that, and then like I think the dragon like lowers its head, and you hop on, and it begins to like fly, and then it gets halfway up this tower and just belches flame. This whole like to the point where outside, I think Seisha, you are engaged with these other Astirs in the woods, and you just see like a column of fire shoot up into the air. What do you do, Seisha?
So I think Seisha just sort of stops and like points like to draw the Astir's attention to it.
Yeah, there's like a massive roar and then the sound of fire, and like how engaged with them were you? I know we're kind of like glossing over some stuff here because we had to relearn shit and time.
In melee combat with at least.
Yeah, I love the idea of them like grappling with you, and you're just like, look, and they turn like, and like the flames, like, oh shit. I
imagine Seisha hears on her light crystal, like, it's okay, it's me.
Of course. Yeah, well, who else is it gonna be? It's a giant pillar of flame.
It's time to announce the retreat, yo.
Yeah, I mean, like the dragon just torches this place. We'll kind of deal with the dragon during downtime, because I think they'll be like present at least for a portion of that. But like, you take off with them, Seisha. You are able to like get away. They have more pressing things to deal with, like going to put out that fucking fire. Again, just because in interest of like wrapping up in a decent time.
I think there would be just like one moment where whoever she's grappled with like looks to the fire and looks to her, and she would just say, go save the students.
Yeah,
there are a lot of
let you go.
Yeah.
This is definitely Cassandra Bolvi, who is relentless, harsh, and commanding. And she had like a force blade, and she was the one with like the missile pods on her shoulders. And I think like she just pulls her blade back, and then like swishes it down and is like, this is not over.
Oh.
And at the same time, the other talisman, the Thunder Willow, is like just drops its spell cannon and is just fucking running, just booking it back. Like doesn't even bother. Like she's giving you the business. The Thunder Willow is another neophyte who is just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go help people. Good God. And they run back to help out. But you get away on the Dragon Farina. Seisha, you and the Bellboys meet up, and you're able to escape. Cyril, you're a janitor for like a couple hours and then manage to just like slip away. And Dumorn, you again, as always, sound the retreat and disappear into the miasma clouds where they cannot follow. And the mission is a success. You have destroyed that stockpile. It is done. it essentially like it was a stockpile of magical shit, but the big main thing there is like all of it's destroyed, and they were harvesting this dragon for like magical ingredients, and they don't have that anymore because you freed the dragon, who is gonna like I guess go hang out on the outside of the Apollyon to like talk to y'all. We'll deal with that next time.
Is the carrier is the hangar of the Apollyon big enough for the dragon?
No.
Oh damn. Okay. Question.
Rather, if there was nothing else in it, yes.
Okay.
But there is a lot of stuff in that
Bigger
hangar.
and more important concern: does the dragon know the Apollyon? Because that terrifies me personally.
I don't know that the dragon does. We have not defined what the fuck the Apollyon is. We know it is not a conventional carrier in the way that like a carrier is a thing that was built in like a shipyard. It's not that.
Well, no, it was birthed, wasn't it?
Okay,
It
so
was birthed, maybe? It might have been living at one point. It might still be. We don't know.
so we said that Dumornlight starts to fly off into the miasma, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I imagine that Farina on the back of the dragon had to call the Adrenos to her to then get into it to protect herself from the miasma,
From the miasma,
right?
yeah. Which the dragon is like chill with. It
That's
doesn't bother
fine.
the dragon.
So
but yeah.
are they on top of the?
I think like you're probably flying alongside it.
Okay, and then they
And then like you
meet up with the...
and get into the hangar. And
Okay.
you know, you go pick like somebody extracts Cyril and he gets picked up.
Okay.
And then we will do downtime next time.
Okay. I
And
was like,
and
wait a
figure
minute.
all that out.
I don't want bad lungs like
I know, right?
Cyril.
I can help with that.
No. I'll just let my hysteria heal me. It's fine.
I mean, who doesn't want bad lungs? Oh, most people.
I don't
I'd
have
trade
bad
mine.
lungs anymore.
No, you
It's
just,
true, you've got robot lungs.
You
Exactly.
have robo lungs. They're just external now.
Exactly.
unless you come.
I
unless you
got
come
rid
hang
of
out
my
with-
lungs, so now I've got room for other things.
Unless you just come hang out with
Kid, I don't
Farina
have
and you
6
just
hearts
fix
now.
it. Oh my god.
Who needs lungs when you got 6 hearts? Am I
Try to
right?
kill me.
Can you figure out which one's real?
Most
I'm
of
gonna
them
be
don't work. I
More
just have
human
6
because
hearts.
I'll have more organs.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Now I'm just picturing the Emperor Dragonheart when he like carves his chest open.
Oh lord.
Good lord.
Love
That is where we end the flight of the Apollyon for this evening. We will return next week
Yes,
in
we're
a
doing
special
back-to-back.
two-parter fuckery bonus episode to get us back on track.
Woo.
I have been your MC, Lauren Peterson. You can find me on Twitter at DM_LSP. You can buy the games I write at h.io/LSP. And you can catch me on the Nerds on a Roll podcast. Let's go to... I don't have the chat up, so whoever is to my right? No one.
we can just do the same
Yeah,
order
do
we did.
Fab.
Do fast kit.
My name is Liz. You can find me on Twitter at Favtastical. Otherwise, I'm hanging out here mostly every other Thursday night. And then there's some secret machinations.
Well, there are secret machinations.
Lots of fun plots.
So that's a me.
As a you. Next would be our good friend Kit.
You can find me here every other Thursday, and this fun thing we're doing, where we're 2 weeks in a row for today and next
Yeah.
week. You can find me at Kit Battlebeard on both Twitch and Twitter. You'll have to figure out if there's a nasty super secret underscore between Kit and Battlebeard. I can never remember that. But yeah. I've got some super secret machinations as well going on that you'll just have to keep posted for on Twitter. There's some stuff that will be happening on my Twitch channel that I am preparing for, as well as some other things. that we're all
So
being
many
secretive
mysteries.
about.
So many
Yeah,
mysteries.
so many mysteries happening. Also on Corpses and Curios as Trevor King, the lovable harbinger named Forerunner.
Name. You had a question. You weren't
Yeah,
sure
I
about
wasn't sure.
that.
The X Pumpkin.
Yes.
Ex-Pumpkin.
Formerly Pumpkin.
Formerly Pumpkin.
All right.
And
Well,
Drew?
yeah, I was gonna say if we're doing the same order. That's me. I have been Alexander Dumore. Now I'll fix this sentence here. Hold on, I'll drag it back on course. I've been Alexander Dumore, and I am Drew Tillman. That did not change. You can find me on Taking Initiative, where I currently play Zell, the very fast cat. You can also find me on Corpus and Curios, where I do various voices and play Edgelord, who is a good boy. I also, since everyone else is doing it, I also have secret things that I'm planning. There's so many secrets happening this year. Please stay tuned.
I
But
have
don't
zero
have any-
secrets. Just FYI. Got
That's
zero.
a lie. Lauren has so many secrets. Don't listen to Lauren. Lauren
What?
has all the secrets.
There's
There's a
skeletons in
secret.
those closets.
There's secret from me.
They're even secret. How else
It's
do you
under
keep
that
them secret?
blanket.
Okay, you all know what's under that blanket. We
It's a
don't need to
body.
Oh!
What an
Wish.
ending!
The twist. The twisty.
But that's all I've got. Just keep an eye out on my Twitter, and you will find out.
Finally, our good friend Kimberly.
Yes, I am Kim. You can find me on Twitter at Violently Ginger. You can also find me on Corpses and Curios. Season 1, we play GURPS, where I'm Artemis Pruitt. Season 2, we play Urban Shadows, and I am the GM. And there are secrets, as everybody said, so woo, secrets. Yeah, so stay tuned on Twitter for those. Yeah, and sometimes on Corpses and Curios, we do Halcyon by Night, where I was playing Disto, and eventually we will, whenever we plan those things again, I will have a new character, so fun times. So yeah, that's me. Those are those
I
things.
think that about does it for all of us.
Yes.
So have a good evening, everyone. We hope to see you next time for the next flight of the Apollyon.
Yes, next week, next Thursday.
Woo!
Next Thursday.
Good night, everybody.
Good evening.
Everyone go get drunk.